Primary groups. Primary groups are small groups that have a feeling of comradeship, loyalty, and a common sense of values among its members. Oftentimes, the terms small group and primary group are used interchangeably. Technically, there is a difference. A small group has to meet only the criterion of a small size. Thus, all primary groups are small groups, but not all small groups are primary groups. Coalitions. Coalitions are very relevant to organizations. Although the concept is used in different ways by different theorists, a recent comprehensive review of the coalition literature suggests that the following characteristics of a coalition be included: interacting group of individuals, deliberately constructed by the members of a specific purpose, independent of the formal organization structure, lacking a formal internal structure, mutual perception of membership, issue oriented to advance the purpose of the members, external forms, and concerted member action, act as a group. Coalitions are separate, usually very powerful, and often effective entities and organizations. For example, a recent study found that employees in a large bureaucratic organization formed into coalitions to overcome petty conflicts and ineffective management in order to get the job done. There are also other classifications of groups that are important to the study of organizational behavior. They are membership and reference groups, in groups and out groups, formal groups and informal groups. Membership groups are those to which the individual actually belongs. An example would be membership in a craft union. Reference groups are those to which an individual would like to belong. An example would be a prestigious social group. In groups are those who have or share the dominant values, and out groups are those on the outside looking in. But the formal and informal types are most directly applicable to the study of organizational behavior, which will be discussed later on. In general, it can be concluded from research over the years that groups have a positive impact on both individual employee effectiveness and organizational effectiveness. It helped employees learn about the organization and oneself, gain new skills, obtain rewards not available to individuals, and fulfill important social needs. Organizations strengthened in numbers of ideas and skills, improved decision making and control, and facilitating change as well as organizational stability. In addition to the somewhat general conclusions, there are some specific studies in social psychology which seem to have particular relevance to organizational behavior. The seminal work of social psychologist Stanley Schachter, the Schachter Study. Schachter and his associates tested the effect that group cohesiveness and induction, or influence, had on productivity under highly controlled conditions. Cohesiveness was defined as the average resultant force acting on members in a group. The independent variables in the experiment were cohesiveness and induction, and the dependent variable was productivity. The results are high cohesive, positive induction, low cohesive, positive induction, high cohesive, negative induction, and low cohesive, negative induction. The pitchfork productivity curve implies that highly cohesive groups have very powerful dynamics, both positive and negative, for human resources management. The low cohesive groups are not so powerful. However, of even more importance to human resources management is the variable of induction. Performance depends largely on how the high or low cohesive group is induced. For illustrative purposes, leadership may be substituted for induction. A highly cohesive group that is given positive leadership will have the highest possible productivity. On the other side of the coin, a highly cohesive group that is given poor leadership will have the lowest possible productivity. The low cohesive group is much safer in the hands of management. Leadership will not have a serious negative or positive impact on this group. However, the implication is that if management wishes to maximize productivity, it must build a cohesive group and give it proper leadership, and over time, this highly cohesive group may become self managing. Ways to use groups to enhance satisfaction and performance. Organizing work around intact groups. Having groups charged with selection, training, and rewarding of members. Using groups to enhance strong norms for behavior, with group involvement in off the job as well as on the job behavior. Distributing resources on a group rather than an individual basis. And allowing and perhaps even promoting intergroup rivalry so as to build within group solidarity. A review of the research literature also determined three factors that seem to play the major role in determining group effectiveness: task interdependence, how closely group members work together; outcome interdependence, whether and how group performance is rewarded; and potency, members' belief that the group can be effective. That's all about group dynamics. Now we move on to more interesting topics about organizational behavior. Once again, this is Fanny Villas, your reporter.